Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Magical Pain-Free Living with Shalini. I am your host, Shalini Joshi Amdagni, and I'm very excited today because today's show is all about physical pain that moves about. Physical pain that moves about. What does that mean? I often get questions like, Shalini, you're doing these shows, and some of them are about hip pain and neck pain and shoulder pain, but my pain is something that just moves around. Sometimes it's in my head, sometimes it's in my back. What do I do? And that's why I'm doing this show, to answer some questions that came through, and we're going to learn in this particular episode how to manage pain that moves about, how to get to the core and manage it instantly, naturally by yourself. So if you're someone who's struggling with pain, physical pain, and it's just all over the place, then stay tuned because not only are we going to share all these wonderful details, but I have in this episode, a live demo for you. We have a special guest with us here. It's Tiffany Pitts. And Tiffany, why don't you tell us where you're joining us from?
I am joining you from Cleveland, Ohio, in the
Hey.
great old US of A.
So what time is it over there right now?
It is like 9:15 here.
Wow. Okay. So we have, it's 8:15 here, so we are 11 hours or something apart. Wonderful.
Right.
So, I've often said that physical pain, wherever it's located and however it's moving around, is simply a message from your body. It's your body alerting you and letting you know something is off balance. And it's not usually, when we are in chronic pain, people often make the mistake of thinking that it's just a physical thing. And they keep, trying different things like, injections or physiotherapy or ultrasound therapy or hot packs, cold packs, all of which are very helpful, but they're not really, that's still addressing pain at the surface level. It's not really addressing pain underneath. And so if we don't address pain from underneath the underlying layers, then we never really get the lasting relief that we look for. And I have this little diagram to show you that, my understanding is that, physical pain is just a symptom, and that there are emotional issues, stresses that create physical pain. And of course, if you are in physical pain, then you're emotionally, very stressed out as well. So it's all interrelated, and so that's what we're going to be looking at today. And what I want to do is ask you, Tiffany, right now, what can you tell us a little bit about what's going on with you? I know you told me that you have this pain, and it's in different parts of the body. So can you tell us what's been going on?
Yes, I have this recurring pain, and I've actually been able to manage it a little bit through nutrition. But I've gone to chiropractors, and with the pinched sciatic nerve and different spots in my spine. But basically, like I'm always tense in the shoulders. It seems like I can't seem to bring the shoulders down. My neck is usually always stiff. It's gotten better. It was to the point where it would shoot through my arms and numb my hands. Now I am experiencing it going down my legs and going into my feet. So, and then sometimes it goes into my hips, sometimes it's my inner thighs. So I guess it kind of depends on the day and what's going on, and what the trigger is, where it ends up. So it just moves, and sometimes I can get it to go away in one area, but then it'll pop up somewhere else. So that's the difficulty, not knowing where it's going to show up, or when it's going to show up, or how to manage it, because it keeps bouncing around.
Yeah. And you said something interesting right now. You were saying that it pops up in different places depending on what's going on. And that's kind of interesting. And I've often said in the past episodes that, every part of your body has a different message. The pain in different parts of your body has a different message. So if it's showing up in the legs, it means something different. If it's showing up in upper back, it means something different. If it's in your neck, that means something different. And really what you said, depending on what's going on, what's the stress, what's going on in your life at that time, because it's different, different experiences every single day. And so what I want to do is, we have a technique in emotion. So the technique that I'm going to be using as if you've been following the show, it's emotional freedom techniques, which is EFT, or it's also known as tapping. And to give you a really quick, understanding of what it is, it's basically modern psychology meets acupuncture. So we tune in to what's going with us emotionally, physically, as we stimulate certain key acupuncture points in our body. And we're doing this simultaneously, because if you're doing acupuncture, usually you're just lying down there, and the acupuncturist puts needles in different parts of the body, stimulates a current, and it's supposed to clear up the blockages. But in emotional freedom techniques, we're tuning in emotionally to what's going on with us, physically, mentally, spiritually, physically, and then we're stimulating these meridians. So it's a little bit different. It's a mix of both, and that's what we're going to do. And if you want to know more, if you're brand new here, you haven't heard the other episodes, and you have no clue what EFT is all about, you can visit my website, magicalpainfreeliving.com, and get more information there. But for right now, don't worry. You can just tune in here and just follow along as best as you can. We'll be tapping with our fingertips on different points in our body, very easily accessible points. So it's not going to be a problem. And if you're listening to this on the podcast and you can't see us, don't worry. I'm going to say it out loud so that you can try and follow along. And the good thing is, we have Tiffany here, and I'm going to be doing this with her, but, you don't have to just stand there and watch. You just jump in and join along. And even though I'm tapping for Tiffany's issues, if you join along and you do the tapping right along with us, I know after being a decade on this journey, you will get relief as well. Different intensity of relief, but you will get some relief. So join us along and just lean in and see how I'm doing this, so you can do this for yourself as well. So to get started, Tiffany, right now, I know you said it goes from your head. Wow, it goes all over, from your head to your thighs, to your legs, to your back, neck, all over. So tell me right now, where is it? Where do you feel it the most right now?
Right now, I would say my lower back and my right hip. It's kind of going around that bend there.
Okay, lower back and right hip. And what is it like? Can you describe it to me? Is it like a ache? Is it like a pressing? Is it heaviness, pressure, tightness? Is it just a dull ache? How would you describe it? How are you experiencing this pain? Because I know we say pain, but for everyone it's a different experience.
Right. I would say it's like a dull ache under pressure. So it's like this soreness, kind of like that soreness you have after you work out, but kind of like pressurized. So it's like concentrated.
Okay. And so it's concentrated, it's not spread out.
Right. It's spread out around that area, but it's concentrated in that area. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's in the lower back. And the left hip, did you say?
The right hip.
The right hip. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And on a scale of 0 to 10, if 10 was like really, really, really bad pain, or this dull ache is really that intense, 10, or 0 being no intensity, no ache or pain, where would you put your number right now as we're talking and as you're experiencing this current pain in your body?
I'd say about a 3.
About a 3.
Yeah.
Okay. And like, because it's there, how does that make you feel? Like, I have this nagging dull ache. How do you feel when
Um,
you tune into that? And how? Yeah.
it's annoying. It's frustrating for me because it's like it keeps showing up and why. You
Mm,
know, it's like um I have a pretty high tolerance for pain, but it just doesn't go away. It's like you just don't get a break from it.
mm,
So it gets a little frustrating, just, really annoying, I think is the
mm.
best word to describe it.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna, start the tapping, and I think you're familiar with the tapping points. So
Yes.
let's begin tapping at the karate chop. And Tiffany, just follow along with me in your mind. We'll play a little Simon Says, and we'll see what happens after the tapping. And for those listening in, just tap at the karate chop point. The karate chop is that area, that starts at the base of the pinky finger at the side of your hand all the way down to your wrist. And just tap with a bunch of fingers over there. And we're going to, here's where we do our setup statement, where we state what the problem is, and then we'll be tapping on different points. So just follow along, um, and repeat. You can repeat it in your mind after me. So even though I'm holding on to this pain in my lower back and my left hip, right hip, and it feels like a dull ache, and I feel so annoyed and so frustrated with this dull, aching pressure pain in my lower back, I'm just going to honor all these feelings that are coming up right now because of this pain. And I'm going to pay attention to this pain. It's been around for a while. I guess it's here to tell me something. Even though I'm holding on to this pain for a long time, and it's here right now in my lower back, my right hip, I'm curious what its message is. I'm choosing to pay attention to this pain and the message it has for me. Let's tap on the other points. Let's start tapping on the eyebrow point, starting of the eyebrow, just that point there. All this pain in my lower back. Tap on the side of the eye, right on the bone on the side of the eye. All this pain in my lower back. Under the eye point, right on that bone, under the eye. This pain in my lower back and this pain on my right hip. Under the nose. It's very simple. It's right under the nose. Tap on that point. All this pain in my lower back, in my right hip. And for those listening in, just tune into what your pain is, okay? All this pain in my lower back, in my right hip. Tap on the collarbone. I feel so annoyed and frustrated. Tap on the top of the head. It keeps showing up in my life. It keeps showing up. It doesn't go away. I'm sick and tired of it. Tap on the eyebrow. This pain in my lower back. Tap on the side of the eye. I wonder what the message is. Under the eye, I wonder what it's trying to tell me. Under the nose, I'm open to the possibility that even though I have this pain, chin point, I'm open to the possibility that I can heal this. Collarbone, all this remaining pain in my lower back, in my right hip, I'm open to the possibility that I can release this pain and let it go. Just take a deep breath. And, so what we just did is we just tuned into what we were feeling emotionally. We tuned into what was going on physically with us right at that moment. And we did some tapping, addressing it. And we're just going to check in right now with Tiffany and just tell us, like, what's going on with your lower back. What does it feel like right now in your lower back or your right hip? And what is the intensity? Or did you notice like there's a shift and the pain is, I don't know, somewhere else right now? So just tune in and tell us what's going on.
The pain in the hip is gone.
Uh-huh.
The lower back is still there. The lower back pain, there doesn't feel like there's been any change with that.
Okay.
But the hip pain is gone.
Okay, that's interesting. So what does the lower back pain feel like right now? Is it still the pressing, or how would you describe it? Is it?
I would say it's still the dull ache, but not maybe as pressurized. It feels a little lighter.
Mm-hmm. But you would describe it as a dull ache?
Yeah, it's still like a dull ache.
And it's all over your lower back?
Yeah, it's like right across the entire back line.
Okay.
Like right across the top of the hip.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, and what would be the number? The intensity?
I would say about a 2.5.
Okay, so it's still around the 3, 2.5, 3.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. And so we did a round of tapping on the physical, location of the pain and tuning into how that was making us feel. But having done this for a decade, I don't see any significant shift. Yes, the hip pain went away, and that's fun, but I don't see that there is some significant shift that happened in the lower back pain. And so when you see that, when you're using tapping, and when you see that, then as I was saying, here's this card, right? And I said, physical pain is related to emotional pain. And so in EFT, we call there's this process which we call chasing the pain. So if you find that you have this lower back pain, and then sometimes it shows up in your head, sometimes it shows up here or there. If right now Tiffany's pain would have been shifted to some other place, we would just chase that pain there. So let's say if the pain went to the upper back, we would address in the same fashion that we did here, even though I have this pain now in my upper back. But that's not happened right now for her. So what we're going to do instead is we're going to dig into what's going on emotionally, because I don't see a significant shift happening with the lower back pain. And so, you have to go back and forth. If the physical tapping on the physical symptom isn't giving you a significant shift, go to the emotional issues and address that, and then see what happens. So I'm going to ask you, Tiffany, right now, when was the first time that you noted this lower back pain?
Oh wow. Maybe like 2008.
2008?
Yeah.
Okay. That was the first time you experienced lower back pain.
Yeah.
Okay. And if I asked you, like, what was, if you can tune in and go back to 2008 and see what was some of the big stresses around the time that this pain started? Was there any any stress in your life back then?
Um. Well, there was. I had just moved, and I had just taken over my grandmother's house, and soon afterwards, there was some family drama surrounding the situation. So
Mm,
it got very deep to the point where it was legal,
mm,
and I was a single mom,
mm,
and so it was just a lot of stress of not knowing if I was going to have a home and how I was going to take care of my son and, dealing with legal issues and the fact that these were very close family members of mine, just the emotional stress of how do I deal with a negative situation with, the people that I love. So,
yeah,
yeah, I think that was probably what really kicks it in if I think about it.
yeah, yeah. And so, what I want you to do right now is, if you can tune in, maybe take a minute to close your eyes and just tune in to that scenario, like a little movie, mini movie in your head, and just watch that and um, just tune into what was going on. Just take a minute. And those of you listening in, if you can go back to when was the first time you noticed your pain and what was the stress during that time? What was going on that felt stressful just around the time that your pain started? And just make a mini movie out of it in your head. So, on a scale of 0 to 10, as you tune in to this, first of all, as you tuned into that stress, did the pain increase or it's still the same?
It didn't increase, but I felt um, tension going up the back.
You felt it going up the back.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was.
so it was very constantly there in your lower back, spread out, and then you tuned into this incident from the past, and now it's going up the lower back, and where is it going to?
It's kind of stopping like mid back. It's just up that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just this thing that I was saying, that when you tune into something emotional, it's all related. It's all
Mm.
related, and that's what's going on right here. So when you think about this stressful event from 2008, as you tune into that, on an how, on a scale of 0 to 10, 10 is that it really upsets me, it really hurts me. 0 is I feel nothing when I tune into this. uh, on a scale of 0 to 10, where would your number be?
10,
When
definitely,
10. Okay.
definitely 10.
Is there a specific emotion that you're feeling, or is it a jumble of emotions, or is there any dominant emotion that you feel as you tune in to this event, this experience in 2008?
Um, it's a jumble of emotions, but if I'm really honest with myself, I think anger is the prevalent emotion.
Okay. All right. Okay, so we're going to do some tapping about this old event, this past event, when you noticed that the pain was going to start, and we'll just see what happens. So this pain that's radiating from your lower back to your mid back, what is the number there? What's the number? Like, what is the intensity of that?
Um, the lower back is still about a 2.5 to a 3. The mid back, I think, is starting to inch more up to like a 4.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That's the pain moving around, and that's different issues coming up, emotional
yeah.
issues. Okay, that's fine. So okay, I just want you to begin tapping on the eyebrow point and just going down. We're not going to tap on the karate chop because we're tuning in emotionally. So let's tap all these feelings from 2008. That incident, that stress during 2008, family drama, all the legal stuff, being a single mom, not knowing what was going to happen in the future, all these feelings, all this anger, this 2008 movie. Just keep tapping on different points that you're familiar with as we're tuning in. We're tapping on the top of the head right now. All this anger about that experience in 2008, all the feelings, all these jumbled feelings. Single mom with my son, not knowing where I was going to live. Keep tapping on different points. All these feelings that are coming up right now as I think about that time. These were my loved ones. This is my family. All these feelings back then. So much anger. So much fear. Going into the unknown. No security. No guarantee. Not feeling safe. All these remaining feelings during that family drama time. Moving out from my grandma's. Single mom. All the remaining anger that I'm still holding on to. Way back from that time. What if it's time to let that anger go? What if it's safe now to release all that stuff from 8 years ago? I'm here now. I used to have that conflict. Thank God those days are over. What if I could offload this anger? It's not serving me, it's not helping me. It's keeping me stuck. Keep tapping on different points as I'm saying what I'm saying. Just follow along. Remaining feelings, all the remaining hurt, all the remaining sadness, all the remaining overwhelm, frustrations, annoyed feelings, angry feelings, this jumble of feelings from the past. I'm choosing to feel safe now, to release and let it go. I've been holding on to it for way too long. I prefer peace. I'm choosing to release these feelings now. They're not serving me. Wouldn't it be nice to offload this burden from 8 years ago? I don't need to carry it into my everyday life now. I prefer to release it and let it go. Take a deep breath in. And just tune into that movie right now. Maybe close your eyes and tune into that event that happened way back, the time that this pain started. Just tune into that movie a little bit and notice what you said. It felt like a 10 when we started. Really, really upset, angry. What happens right now when you watch that movie? What's coming up for you?
Um, it seems softer now. It's not. It doesn't. It's not as piercing.
Okay.
It's like I can watch it, and I'm okay with it.
Okay. And is there any part of that movie when you watch it, it brings up some intensity? Let's ask, what is the intensity right now? It was a 10 when we started. So what is the emotional intensity now? 10 is it's really strong and 0 is no intensity. Where would your number be right now?
Um, 3 keeps coming to my mind.
3?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't stop it.
Yeah, so it felt like a piercing, sharp kind of pain when you watch that movie. Right now, when you watch it, what's this 3 number? Like, what is still there? Because it's not a 0. What's still there when you think about it? What feelings come up? What thoughts come up?
I think now it's more sadness.
Okay.
Sadness that it had to happen.
Mm.
Sadness that, um, from my perception, I don't know if it was ever really resolved.
Mm.
It was placated, but I don't know if it was truly resolved.
Okay. And do you feel this sadness somewhere? Like, do you feel it in your chest? Do you feel it physically, or no? It's just an emotional feeling.
Yeah, it's just an emotional feeling.
Okay, I want to do a little bit of more tapping. So let's just randomly tap on any point. You can begin at the eyebrow and just tune into the sadness. All this remaining sadness from that experience, the family drama. Remaining feelings during that time of family drama, not knowing where I was going to go, how it was all going to unfold, all the stress, all the sadness, remaining sadness that I'm still holding on to. What if I could release this remaining feeling? What if I could release this and let it go? Tap on all the different points, keep tapping. This remaining sadness that I'm still holding on to, this disempowering feeling from a long time ago. What if it's safe to release this now? What if it's okay to release this feeling now? It's not making me happy. It's not changing anything. It's pulling me down. It's keeping me stuck. What if I could release this now? From my heart, from my mind, from my body. Just take a deep breath. Okay. And just take a quick peek at that movie again. Just close your eyes and tune into that family drama movie. And as you watch that movie one more time, if you felt anger like a 10, and then it became a 3, but the feeling was sadness, what does it feel like right now?
Um, Peaceful.
Okay.
I feel peaceful. Like I'm at peace with it now.
So you can
But while
watch
we
it.
were,
Okay.
I can watch it and it doesn't stir up anything.
Okay.
But as we were tapping, I also felt this overwhelming wave of sadness come over
Mm-hmm.
me.
Yeah.
So I feel like that part was released with the tapping because, as we started, I could just feel myself going, oh, wow. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Like it's actually coming up and releasing.
Yes, like it was coming out of my pores or like out of my body as we were tapping.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
I felt that.
this is something that I keep that I've shared in different episodes, that we have, we really need to pay attention to our emotions, and we have emotions are energy in motion, and they're supposed to be free flowing. We cannot stop the challenges in our life. We cannot stop the bad events from happening. We can't stop life from happening, and sometimes it's up and sometimes it's low, and it's a natural part. Stress is part of life, but when we don't release the emotions that we were feeling from different experiences, then it's unprocessed emotions, which is energy that was supposed to be in motion but got stuck. And so these feelings of anger from the past experience and this sadness and everything is jammed up and creates physically emotional blockages in your energy system, which over time add up because we have so many different experiences. This is just one experience in 2008. And so as we release that, then and the way to know, to test it, is that you go back to that experience and you watch it again, and you were feeling angry at a level 10, and now it feels peaceful like a 0, and you've really let it go. That's how people say, I'll let it go. But here's the test: go back to that experience, and if you've got feelings about that, then you've got unprocessed emotions or stuck energy, and you want to release that. So coming back to you, Tiffany, can you tell me what's going on with your lower back right now?
Um, there's still a hint of pain, but I think it's more just tension. You know what I mean? It's not that dull ache that I
Mm,
had before. It just feels like it just needs to release a little bit more.
sure. And so what would be that number right now? What would be that little tension that you feel right now?
um, it's like maybe a 0.5.
Okay, that's an interesting one. I had somebody else in my last show also like going down from whatever her number was to a point 0.5. That's interesting. So, well, we only have time for this much, in this show, but I hope you were able to see that, pain does move around depending on what's going on emotionally. And if you find when you're tapping by yourself that you've tried to tap on the physical piece of it and nothing's really changing, then go back to the emotional roots, which is where it's all at anyway. That's the core. And go back to, when did this pain start? And what was going on in my life during that pain, during that time? And you'll uncover a lot of emotional baggage that you might still be holding on to that needs to be released. And so right now, I don't think any pain is showing up in any part, but I know that it will, because we haven't, you said you've had this pain for since 2008, and who knows, we'll check in with you, Tiffany, and see what happened. But
Okay.
if it shows up in a different part of the body, go tap it physically, and if and then see what's going on emotionally, and try to address the emotional pain that you may be experiencing in your life, or you've had some past big emotional experiences, addressing that will shift the pain too. Or if you just keep having pain and you tap on it and it goes to another part of your body, chase it. Just keep following it until the intensity is gone. So I hope that was helpful.
It
Um,
was very much.
Yay, that's wonderful. And I hope those of you listening in, you got something out of this and that you will give it a go. If you didn't give it a go, just tap along with us. And I know you will experience shifts. And I would love to know what your experience was. Was there any shift for you? And I'll see you in another episode. And if you want to know more about me and this work, then feel free to visit my website, magicalpainfreeliving.com. And see you in the next episode. Bye for now. Thank you for joining in. You can say bye, Tiffany.
Oh, bye.
See you. Bye bye.